I have been on pretty much every accessible rooftop that I can find on this side of Tokyo. There will be an entire playlist, and tonight we are out in Akihabara, an amazing area. And the one thing I've always wanted to do is a little bit of rooftop camping. Love that view. Tokyo actually has a law that a certain percentage of rooftops need to be covered in greenery. Now those ones tend to be a little bit wider, a little more spacious, maybe more suitable for camping. So I've done a bit of searching and I think I found a spot for tonight. Also out here in Akihabara on some of these rooftops, you'll even find secret little rooftop shrines like this one here. I've actually never noticed this one before. And if you're curious as to how I get up on these or how I find them, that'll also be in that playlist. But for now, let's go get set up. Okay, yeah, this is definitely the space. A giant rooftop balcony, way more than enough space to put a tent, and there are rolls of AstroTurf literally just waiting to be laid out. Well, that couldn't be more perfect. Here we go. Okay, I am loving this. This is the perfect spot. We are coming up at the end of summer here in Tokyo. The heat is still there. It's about 30 degrees right now. 30 degrees at night, but I have not gotten to do nearly as much camping this year as I've wanted to. And honestly, it's not every day that you get to go camping on a rooftop in Tokyo. In fact, one might say that it's an opportunity that you never get. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna say you never get that opportunity. I know I haven't. If you have, cool, let me know. My first time pulling out the tent this year. I picked up this tent really cheap on Amazon a couple of years back, and I did so entirely because the bag is super small and it's really easy to set up. I want to buy another one. I don't sell them anymore. It's gone. Also, it just passed midnight here in Tokyo, which means all the colorful lights in the background just got shut off. It's gonna stand. Considering that it's midnight, it's actually both pretty bright and fairly quiet. I would always assume that the middle of Tokyo this late at night right out in Akihabara would be much louder than this. There's been the odd train going by and every now and then a loud bike or truck, but otherwise it's been quiet. And with the city in the background, I guess quiet is a little bit more of a relative term in this case. You're never going to get the same quiet that you would underneath the stars out of the countryside, but a new experience is a new experience. And the tent is kind of set up. This is just netting. It's not a see-through tent or anything. It does have a proper cover, which we're actually going to forgo for tonight and just cross our fingers and hope that it doesn't rain. It's looking a little suspicious up there. And then I will need my air mattress and my summer sleeping bag. One big benefit to rooftop camping in the middle of the city, no bugs and plenty of light. Here we are. Here we are, all set up. And here, let me put this here. There we go. And in the process of this, somehow my shoe fell out. It's just too exciting. We are in the middle of Tokyo on a rooftop. My heart is literally racing a little bit right now. This is such a rare and unique experience, and it's technically legal. The legality side of things, also this, by the way, if you didn't catch the last video where I went through all the secret shrines in Kyoto, I briefly addressed this in there. I will leave it in that one. I'll link it. The legality of this, though, is technically in Tokyo, urban camping or camping in public is not illegal. It's not a crime. However, don't take that on surface value. Each ward or area of the city also has kind of its own rules and regulations. So some areas you need approval, some areas you might be okay. So if you were to just take your tent and pitch it in a public park or something like that, you may get in trouble. You may get stopped. You may be fine. It's a bit of a gamble. I would recommend checking the one place where you're the most likely to be okay way, based on how Japan and Tokyo river law works, are along a lot of the riversides. Again, these are things that you can call up the ward office, you can look on the websites. In fact, before doing any of this, before even sharing this information with you, I had already confirmed this with the city, I had confirmed it with local police, and I had confirmed it with a YouTuber lawyer friend of mine, and I got kind of slightly different answers from each of them, but with a lot of overlap, and the overlap being that you should check. There are things, for example, that you 100% cannot do on these rooftops without a permit or approval. Like, for example, this right here, this is my little set of cookware and whatnot for when I come out to these, and this is a little canister of gas. And on top of that goes this, which is a little burner. I screw this right onto here. If you've never been camping, this will be new to you. If you have been camping, this is not a big surprise at all. And spread these open like this. I open up the gas, and when I push this little button here, I've got a little flame, and then I've got my little pot and pan set that I can boil water and cook stuff. Even something like this without a proper permit, a fire anywhere in the city is very illegal. In fact, my campfire that I have here, this isn't even a campfire at all. This is literally just a couple of lights that have a fire mode to them to look like a campfire. They get a little warm after a while, but now I want food or drink or snack, and while I can't do a campfire, we are in the middle of the city. You know, they always say don't shop for food when you're hungry. Well, I most certainly didn't need almost any of this. I already ate the burrito, so that's gone. Also, the sky has started to clear up a little bit, and you can see stars. Okay, well, a star. You can see a star. Actually, if you look out here, you can see more. There are more stars. Remember what I said earlier about it being quiet? Well, it's about 2:30 in the morning right now. We have like bike gangs running through. They just rev their engines really, really loud. This, by the way, is a tuna mayonnaise onigiri or rice ball, and I'm starving, so. Those noisy biker gangs, by the way, sometimes referred to as bosozoku, and their relationship with the police is an interesting little mini Japanese subculture that I've been fascinated by for years. You see, while the police still do harass and bug them from time to time, for the most part, they kind of get a pass. You see, they will literally go by police boxes, the Koban revving their engines like that, and the police won't bat an eye. They'll just leave them be, even though they are breaking all kind of noise laws and they are a huge bother to so many people. But there's this silent understanding that when they reach a certain age, that eventually they will shed this rebellious stage of theirs and go off into adulthood, donning their suits or whatever it is that they're doing, and start contributing to society. Now again, that doesn't hold up 100% of the time if they break the law, or every now and then if you go to Daikoku Futo with the car meet and all the cars that gather there, you will see officers just bugging them for the sake of, you know, kind of keeping them in line, if you will. But I had that silent understanding, silent contract explained to me, I think in my first year of coming to Japan, and watching it play out as such has fascinated me ever since. And that's just a street cleaner. I can still see stars, by the way. Well, the one star that's there. This space itself is just amazing though, with the complete lack of bugs and wind. I almost don't even need the tent. I could just lay right here on the grass. The only thing that would possibly make this better is a hammock. We need a hammock. Yep. This was definitely the best idea I've had so far this evening. Also, I don't know if you can see that right there, but there is a gorgeous, gorgeous crescent moon peeking over the building there, and it is just spectacular. I don't know why I set up the tent tonight, to be honest. Not gonna use it, won't be sleeping in it. If anything, this hammock is more than good. Look at this. This hammock is perfect as it is suspicious. And I feel like I should explain the hammock and why I'm up here, how I'm up here and everything. And I will do that right after I give some love to our sponsor. This next section is a paid advertisement for NordVPN. You've probably heard of NordVPN, you might even be using them. But if you're new to VPNs and what they do, the simplest explanation is that a VPN can make your computer or device look like it is accessing the internet from another country or location. A lot of people use this for example, unlocking streaming content from overseas, from other countries and places, but I use it for two main things. Number one is anytime that I am using public Wi-Fi to keep my data encrypted and keep me safe behind that VPN, because without that VPN's protection, using public Wi-Fi is essentially like being out in the wild west. And number two is, do you remember travel? That thing that we used to do that is slowly seeming to come back? Well, more often than not, using a VPN and making it look like you are booking from within the country or place that you are hoping to travel to can potentially yield to cheaper flights and hotels and everything like that. I keep NordVPN on all my devices, from a computer, tablet, all the way to my phone, and if you want to give it a shot, you can use my unique URL in the description box down below with the code TokyoLens to give yourself a 2-year plan with a huge discount and 4 full months for free. And what's more is NordVPN has a 30-day money-back guarantee, making it risk-free for you to give it a shot. It is all linked down below. That is the end of the sponsored segment, and I guess now we're on to why I'm camped out on an Akihabara rooftop, why I'm even able to do that. And the main reason is because this is my rooftop. This is, you know what, let me turn on some lights. That balcony there, and in fact this entire space here, this is my new studio in Akihabara, which feels absolutely insane to be able to say, by the way, like my studio, Akihabara. And since the majority of my videos are shot out and about anyway, this isn't going to be like where I shoot all my videos now. This is going to be more for post-production events and meetups, and more on all of that in a minute. Before that, if you got my recent video of one of Akihabara's most legendary tiny shops closing up, this here, this is a huge chunk of the shop itself. I have spent the last couple weeks going back and forth up until closing day to collect as much of the shop as possible, including on the last day, the owner Shimayama-san gave me his old school cash register, which is easily 50 to 60 years old. It doesn't even close properly anymore. He said it was gonna otherwise go in the garbage. Little antique, amazing things like this that I'm so... There is a plan with this. Like, that is incredible. I have literally no use for this, but I couldn't just let his shop fade into history and just disappear and get dispersed all over the place like the Dragon Balls across the world. Yes, that was very nerdy. I had to do something to bring it all together. And so a plan is in place. There's still more stuff that I need to collect. I want people to be able to see it, to be able to stand right in front of it, to visit it. I always thought that if I got a YouTube studio, it would have to be more than just a space where I would make videos. I wanted it to be a collaborative space. I wanted it to be a place that people could visit, where people could connect. You know, even over 10 years ago, I met this shamisen duo named Kiki. We made videos together, but by 2019, we were being paid to travel the world for them to play shamisen in different countries. Next thing I know, we're running an online shamisen school together, and as those businesses grew as well, I started thinking that, you know what, having a studio big enough that I could continue to support Kiki, that they could do live shamisen performances or even teach lessons right here, would be amazing. People could come here. I've always wanted people to be able to come and listen to shamisen music live, but I've never really had a space for them to do that. Now I do. We're going to be holding events and accepting packages and all of that, so we're not going to be hiding the address. Just ask that you wait to be invited. That's fair, right? I feel like that's fair. And while this place is still an absolute mess with nothing set up, I cannot possibly be more excited. Like, come on, I joked about it before. How many times have I joked about having a studio right here in Akihabara. Moving to Japan and meeting new people was already a very difficult thing to do before COVID and all the restrictions and spending years of isolation and everything. Now moving to Japan, for those who finally get their visas approved and get into the country, it's even harder to meet and connect with new people. And so trying to throw together an event once in a while that's a catalyst for people to meet other people with potentially similar interests is just, I can't sit. I want to sit. You get the point though, right? I think all the pieces are there. We've now not only got this whole space, but also the balcony, everything for events. But I should probably shut all of this down and try to get at least some rest tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching this one, and I will see you again real soon. Okay, I know I said I was gonna shut it all down, but I'm way too excited. Like, I'm in Akihabara. Seriously, 7 minutes from Akihabara station, like from the train platform of the Yamanote line to here. 7 minutes. 10 minutes if you want to go to Kanda station. I'm kind of right in the middle of both, but seriously, if you have been with the channel since the very beginning, if you know what the Blue Bridge is all about, this is actually just across the road from the Blue Bridge. I am so, I just need to get this place set up so that it is ready and usable for events. There's a lot to get done. Okay, gonna get to work. Okay, last one, because I haven't said it for a while. I just want to remind you that I do play favorites. Like, if you are one of the early viewers, watch right on release to the end and leave me something in the comments section. You are the trifecta, and I absolutely love you, so thank you very much. It almost makes me want to put together like some kind of sticker or mug or something and release it just for the first 30 minutes. You know, I think we're going to do that. For the first 30 minutes of each video release, maybe an hour, I don't know. There'll be TRIFECTA SQUAD. I'll make some kind of fun little logo for us, something exclusive just for us. That'll be down there just at the beginning of the video releases for, I don't know, for the next foreseeable future. But all goofy mugs and stickers and all that aside, I just want to say I'm super, super grateful to have you here. Thank you so much, and welcome to the next stage.